Hello, welcome to Early Childhood Learning Bites. I am Dr. Isela Garcia. In this segment, we're going to talk about the importance of creating a sense of safety and security in your work with young children as you support their social and emotional learning and development. When we're talking about sense of safety and security with young children, there are two parts to that. There's the emotional part to it and there's the physical part to it. And in terms of the physical space, you want to make sure that everything that's within their reach, whatever is accessible to young children, is for young children. And it's important that we create defined spaces where children can safely play. That means that if a child is building with blocks, that the space is well defined so it's not in the middle of a walkway where children may not be able to safely play because someone will trample on them or trample on their blocks, or, it's just confining that space to make it a safer experience. The other thing that's critically important is that children need to know that you will consistently and lovingly respond to their needs. So if I'm crying, I need to know that an adult is there to consistently and lovingly support my needs, to respond when I'm crying, to respond to my everyday needs, that I'm hungry, that I'm tired, that I am feeling not so well, that there's a grown-up who will consistently and lovingly respond to my needs. Okay, that's a really important part of creating a safe experience for young children. Children also need to feel emotionally safe. Now, in order for children to freely explore, create, and learn, they have to feel safe and secure. Now, I'm sure your immediate thought was, of course children feel safe and secure with me. But I'd like to dig just a little bit deeper. I want you to think about a relationship that you've had in your life that maybe you didn't feel so safe. It could be a personal relationship or maybe a workplace relationship. And I'm going to share just a couple experiences I've had in a workplace situation. I worked with someone who would use sarcasm as a way to make a point. So it was like, well, I guess we can do it that way. Or, well, isn't that an interesting way to do that? And then I've worked with folks who are just like out blatantly say, why would you do that? You know that's not what we do here. And in both of these situations, I didn't feel safe. Not with the individual or like in their presence. There was this discomfort, like I was waiting to be judged. And I just couldn't be myself. And it wasn't always spoken, it was felt. And let me tell you, if I'm not relaxed enough to be myself, if I'm on edge, I am not going to give 100%. I am not going to be creative. I think what happens sometimes is then we don't want to bring attention to ourselves, right? And if I'm not relaxed, it's going to be hard for me to take risks. And I have to tell you, learning something new and trying something new out takes risks. You have to be willing to take a risk. It's part of the process. So when you're introduced to a new concept, strategy, idea, you have to be willing to try it and not get it right the first time, the third time, the 23rd time. That's just kind of how true learning works. When children don't feel safe, just like adults, they're going to have a hard time being creative, being who they truly are, being willing to take risks as they are learning. Think about a child who's learning how to write their name. If they don't feel safe and secure, they're going to have a hard time being able to feel like it's okay for them to not get it right, and that they can keep trying and they can keep trying and they keep trying, and that we're here to ensure that the experience is a positive experience for them. So now let's shift gears a little bit. Let's think about a personal or professional relationship where you did feel safe. What was it about the person that conveyed that sense of You are safe here. You are safe with me. What was it about them? Just take a few moments to think about that. Now, for me, it's being seen and heard. It's being accepted for who I am. It's someone who I get a sense where they're truly interested in how I experience and make sense of the world. It's someone who appreciates my life experiences, my culture as a Latina, my personality, all my little quirks and all the feels I've got going on. It's knowing that this person isn't going to judge me or demean me or put me down. It's someone I can trust, someone who's going to be honest with me. Even if there's a conflict or misunderstanding, when we have conversations, we're kind to one another. Someone I can cry with and share my accomplishments with, and someone who will celebrate with me. Someone who enjoys being with me as much as I enjoy being with them. Do you feel that? That's a big deal, right? So now let's take that experience and shift it into who we are when we are with young children. How do they feel in your presence? Do they feel seen? Do they feel heard? Completely accepted? Can they trust your word? Do you mean what you say? Are you accepting of them even when they've had their tough days? And instead of withholding love because you're frustrated, you recognize that we all have tough days. And you think about what could be going on and all the ways you can support them through that experience that they're having. Or maybe the transitions are really hard, or maybe there was a high noise level and it made it hard for them to feel secure and safe because there was just too many things going on this particular day. When we're determining how a child feels safe with you, you must understand that they are an individual who comes with their own cultural ways of being. Connecting with and forming relationships with families is so critically important. They know their child best, and our role as early childhood caregivers is to gather a deeper understanding of the whole child so we can support their individual growth, learning, and development. So in order to help them feel safe and secure, we have to know who they are. And what does this mean? Like, what does this actually mean in action? Well, when a child comes to your early childhood setting each day, greet them with an open heart. Like, your face should light up when you see them. I'm so happy to see you today, Jeremiah. Use the child's preferred name. Now, I've done a lot of work in early childhood, and I know that 4-year-old that says, I'm not Jeremiah, I'm Superman. And I said, okay, good morning, Superman. When a child feels what they feel, believe them. Don't dismiss it. Using words like, why are you crying? There's no reason to cry. Or look at all the fun you're missing out on. You don't want to cry all day and miss out on all the fun. The child is feeling sad because they miss their mama. And that's okay to miss your mama. It's okay to feel sadness. And in this space, you are safe to feel what you feel. Having a calm space, calming corner, safe space, cozy corner, I don't care what you call it, but it's a space where children can retreat to, they can go to when they just need a moment. And I want to be very clear here. This is not a space for time out. Time out is actually an inappropriate strategy. That it is not okay to use time out with young children. What this is it's a space where children can go to for lots of reasons. They might be feeling sad or frustrated or overwhelmed, sometimes just needing a moment. Sometimes they're really feeling big emotions, and it's the opportunity for the adult to be able to go and help them through the experience, which we're going to talk about in future videos, okay? But creating this space where children can feel safe and secure is critically important. And they get to go to it when they need to go to it. So it isn't just during a defined time of day. Now, think about what a cozy corner would look like, or a cozy nook would feel like. It might have some pillows and some plushies. And if you're old like me, those are stuffed animals. They get different names every few generations. You want to make sure you get ones that can be tossed in the washing machine and the dryer and survive that experience. You might have some squishy balls, some sensory balls, some simple puzzles, some books. Just think cozy space. And where in your early learning environment can you create that for children? Okay, so really think about how to create this safe place. The next thing is stop using sarcasm with children. And this is kind of what it sounds like. Well, I'm just saying, okay? Really? Is that what we're doing right now? Really? Okay. That's sarcasm. And it's, number one, very, very confusing for young children. They don't understand sarcasm. And in truth, it's really disrespectful. Instead, say what you mean what you say, like 100% of the time, okay? Now, we're not 100% all of the time, but what I mean by this is that you don't want to quiz children about your expectations of them. Are we making good choices right now? You're expecting a specific answer. Okay, so it's simply saying to the child, come, let me show you what we're doing right now. Let me show you how we walk safely in the classroom. Let me show you what it means to keep our bodies safe. Let me show you how we put things back on the shelf. Let me show you. So you're showing children exactly what you expect, and you're saying exactly what you mean. The other thing that is super important, if you say you're going to make Play-Doh tomorrow, you better make Play-Doh tomorrow. If you say this afternoon we're going to ... and do whatever, you got to make sure that you have it together so that you can do it. And if you don't, that's okay. But you have to say to children, oh, I thought we had flour, and apparently we don't have any flour. So I'm going to run to the store this weekend or tomorrow or tonight and pick up some flour so we can make some Play-Doh. So you want to say what you mean what you say. Why is that important? Because that's how trust is built, right? Like, I can trust you. I can trust your word. This sense of safety and security is developed through the relationships we form with children. And in this space and in my presence, you are safe to feel what you feel, and you are safe to be you. So I want you to think about all the ways that you help children feel safe and secure